Hello again, HRC Stanley back again. First off, I'd like to apologise that some of the recent episodes of the Anime Show have been kind of delayed. Mostly, part of it was because I had spent the last few days at my dad's. Plus, we've had my birthday on the 16th of June, and as well as the Father's Day, the summer solstice, and plus all that's not helped by how uploading to not only YouTube but also BitChute take like days to actually be fully up on there. And as you can imagine, my last episode was about over 40 minutes long, which is probably my longest yet. That may explain why, but by the time I'm recording this, I just got the Tarkus review up on YouTube and trying to get it onto BitChute, and it's not easy. It takes like over a day or so. But anyways, enough about that. Let's talk about the latest trailer of the upcoming Hasbroverse movie, Snake Eyes G.I. Joe Origins. Now, I have heard that ever since I've looked at the usual like minute-long teaser trailer, I kind of figured there would be like a second, slightly more bigger trailer that would come in like a month or so, and sure enough, we did. And this is also especially in light of how we've got more news of the upcoming sequel to Bumblebee, now called Transformers: Rise of the Beasts, which is an interesting title, although I personally prefer Beast Alliance as it was rumored to be called. But anyways, we'll talk about Transformers another day. But now let's talk about the trailer, as I'm going to do my reaction to it. So, and if I'm able to actually be able to view it, because again, I don't want to risk being demonetized or being copyright striked for any of the audio that's being heard from the trailer, so I'm probably gonna kind of edit out the actual viewing of it. So anyways, here's the trailer in 3, 2, 1. So yeah, that was the latest trailer for Snake Eyes, and so far it's slightly more promising per se. I'm not gonna go in with super high expectations like with something like say Bumblebee for instance, but I'm still hoping this is gonna be good. So anyway, since it has more detail, I'm gonna analyze the trailer for a bit. Uh, for starters, it kind of begins with our character Snake Eyes. I don't think we know his true name yet, though I guess they're gonna reveal it in the movie or still keep it a secret. I don't know. We'll see about that. And it begins with him kind of in this kind of sort of Fight Club style arena where he's fighting this tough guy with like chains and like blocks of cement, and the way it's shot looks pretty intense right from the get-go. And I guess that's how he kind of either started very early or was like during like working his way up until he like joins the eventual like Ninja Clan, which I'll probably bring up later as this trailer would. But it looks pretty looks like a good first impression. And then we see like him working at like a fish factory or like a little building that's kind of dedicated like transporting like fish supplies and sorts, like on a dock and so on. He's approached by this man these people who want him to kill this other person as like a sort of punishment for something that I'm sure we'll find out when the movie comes out. And he refuses, and a big martial art fight just ensues out of that. And then we so I imagine like this is kind I guess this is kind of like the beginning of his journey, like someone asks him, hey you, one of your friends hasn't made our part of the deal. We want you to punish him, to shoot him with a gun and whatnot. And Snake Eyes is like, no, I'm gonna shoot this other guy, and then fight. And after that, we had this like interesting, very almost Michael Bay-esque panning shot of like these like black cars and a white private jet, and and inside it we see Snake Eyes being approached by the guy he let live, and he's like, Snake Eyes, you spared my life. We want you to join our clan of ninjas, the Arashi Kage clan, which I think is the actual name of the actual ninjas in the G.I. Joe lore, in the mythos. I'm not entirely big on G.I. Joe as much as Action Man and Transformers, so any G.I. Joe fan, bigger G.I. Joe fans out there than I am may know about this kind of stuff, and we might go into depth of it when the movie comes out. So, and we actually see him like travel to Japan and kind of begin his training as a member of this Arashikage ninja clan, and this kind of discuss about how they've been around for hundreds of years, which is pretty a cool take on this clan, I've got to say. And it almost kind of also the knit kind of reminds me a bit of Drift from Transformers, not just Age of Extinction, but kind of even the IDW stuff. How he was a former Decepticon who kind of went rogue and became an Autobot to reclaim a form of honor, and he's mostly inspired by ninjas and samurais, of course, right down to his overall look and his Japanese vehicle mode. Again, in the IDW comics and the classic white G1-esque toys. Anyways, back to the Snake Eyes trailer. We actually see some pretty interesting, good choreography, I would say, for a film that's mostly inspired by martial arts. And we also see some, right off the get-go, we also have some interesting casts in this movie. We got Henry Golding as Snake Eyes. We also got Peter Mensah as the Blind Master, who many would know as the Persian Messenger, who got kicked by Gerard Butler in 300, but also as the voice of Predaking from Transformers Prime, and from what I've heard, this part of the cast also features Haruka Abe, who is the current voice of Noodle from one of my favorite bands, Gorillaz. So, a G.I. Joe movie with Predaking and Noodle already has got my full attention. I'm gonna imagine that when I go to see it when it comes out. So we get a bit of like a montage of like the eventual training of Snake Eyes, which I'm gonna guess will make a good chunk of the movie. Like his kind of journey to becoming a true ninja, finding out his true self and his inner spirit and whatnot, and I guess it's kind of like represented by the red symbol that you often see on the shoulder pad. And we also get some other interesting other G.I. Joe major characters like Scarlet of the Joes and even Baroness of Cobra, and from the get-go they look like good choices of actors for the roles. I mean, nothing against the cast from previous Joe films like Rise of Cobra or Retaliation, but this is supposed to be like a new universe, a new continuity, so having a younger cast does seem like a good fitting approach for this good fresh start. And from what I've seen from all this, judging by it all, it does seem to be set roughly around modern present time, as opposed to something like Bumblebee, which is set around 87, and its sequel, Rise of the Beast, which is kind of set around like the early 90s, like 92, 94, I don't know, they're kind of back and forth on that. But I'm still hoping there's still some kind of form of continuity, like how with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, for example, we've had like Captain America: The First Avenger, which was set back in like World War II, when you had like the Carol Danvers Captain Marvel movie, which was set around the 90s as well, and most of the other MCU movies were still set around present-ish time. Or even the MonsterVerse, we had the Godzilla, King of the Monsters, and Godzilla vs. Kong set around present day, and we had Kong Skull Island, which was set back in the 70s. So I'm hoping these Hasbro movies kind of do something like that, like set these various movies at different period times until until they get a chance to like cross over and do some really cool stuff that we hope to see and blow my mind. And I know. And we also get a bit of a bike and car chase, which kind of reminds me a bit of the chase, the Batmobile chase scene from The Dark Knight in terms of both lighting and the cinematography. So I'm sure that's going to be like in like the second or third act, much like The Dark Knight, and I hope it's going to be really cool. And what's a gun fu movie without a mix of guns and swords battling? And I'm sure it's going to be a good gun fu movie. And yeah, at the very end of the trailer, we actually see Snake Eyes actually don the actual recognizable helmet and suit, which I'm going to guess he's probably going to wear just in time for the climax, or the suit itself is going to be featured frequently throughout the movie until like the second or third act, where he actually dons the outfit. I don't know. It's just still personally speculation, and of course it shows off a little hint of rivalry between him and this other ninja, whom you would know as Storm Shadow, which actually the Japanese word Arashi Kage, that literally translates to Storm Shadow, which is kind of obvious if you know your Japanese well. But yeah, all that aside, I hope this film will be just as good as Bumblebee, and I hope the same for the movie that'll be coming next year, Transformers: Rise of the Beasts. So that's all I got to say for now. I'm H. Charles D. Stanley, and I hope to see you in another future, in another time. Peace down.